What's up, gearheads? So I know I've been dragging this project out for like the longest time here, and we all need a little bit of change in life. Last time I did a review video, I was talking about finishing the paint in here. 6 months later, haven't done it. But added a new tool to the garage. It's one of those tools, again, that you didn't know you needed until you got it, and then you realize, well, hell, this makes life so much easier. We're talking belt sanders again. So I've got a Harbor Freight Central Machinery 1x30 belt sander, and then I've got the Vevor, I want to say looks like medical grade variable frequency drive brushless 30x1, not 1x30 but 30x1 belt sander. You're probably asking yourself, hey man, this guy is crazy. These don't even look like the same machines. They're completely different. They serve different clienteles. Well, hold on for a second. So I typically like to go to Harbor Freight and try to find something that's comparable to Vevor, vice versa. If Vevor does send something out, I like to go to Harbor Freight and find something. This is the best I could find from Harbor Freight, which was their 1x30 belt sander. It's got on or off mode. That's it. There's no variable timing, nothing on this. You can't set the belt speed. It's full blast, Mach 20. That's it. Looking at a variable drive, forward and reverse control box here. Brushless motor. All right, so for the keyboard warriors out there that are gonna go bananas at the local county zoo, yes, I got this item for free to actually test. Now, on the Harbor Freight one, on the Central Machinery, I did actually pay for this myself. Now, there is a significant price difference between these two here. Not much of a weight difference. You're looking at about $59 on sale at Harbor Freight, and then you're looking at about $169 from Vevor when it's on sale. Typical retail somewhere around 200 bucks, just depends. But there are significant differences between the two. I will say installation though, big difference. So for the Harbor Freight one, installation was pretty simple. There were three main components on this thing: the deck and some various hardware to actually get this sucker going, and then you're ready to hit the on switch. Now the Vevor one actually took me a little bit to actually put together, about an hour or so. There were a few various components to get done. And this was one that I actually had to RTFM. If you want to know what RTFM is, check the description below. I can't say it in the actual video because, well, YouTube's algorithm tends to like to block me here. So read the manual, right? That was one of the situations with this, but again, pretty straightforward. A few components here, came with all the tools you need. It was actually surprising that it's all machined stainless steel. I really actually enjoyed that. And surprisingly, it's pretty heavy. Let's fire up the Harbor Freight one. And you can tell max speed. Let's check the sound. So we're sitting about 82. So I'd say it's not loud, it's not obnoxious, but you definitely know it's running. So while there is a significant price difference here, you can see you're looking at plastic pulleys internally here. So start it up so you can take a look. So I'd say the belt's pretty straight, a little bit of movement over here, a little back-to-back slop, but not too bad. It does the job, right? Let's go ahead and fire up the Vevor here. We're gonna go ahead and hit start. And we'll put it on the lowest setting, 20 revolutions. You can see how slow. Turn it up. That's what, 2,000? Not too bad. And we'll fire it up all the way. There you go. So that's max blast right there. Not a lot of movement on the belt. Let's get some numbers though. So on full, on the Vevor, we're looking at about 86 compared to the Harbor Freight's 81. But most of the time, nobody's going to be running it on max blast over here. So we'll put it at 3,500-ish to see what the comparison is on the sound-wise. So not much of a difference between the Harbor Freight one. We'll drop it down to a reasonable speed on what most people are probably going to use it for. About 2,300 there. So 68, 70. Every time I talk, it jumps up. But you could definitely have a conversation with this sucker running. Turn it down. But take a look at the belt there as well. So while there is a big speed difference between the two, one being variable, the other one being max blast, Mach 12, Mach 20, whatever, sound-wise, they're pretty much on the same page. Now, public service announcement for the guys out there. This is kind of funny. We've got both of these at waist level. That's typically how I kind of operate my machinery. Probably not the smartest way. The central machinery one actually has a type of guard right here on the last pulley. You know, if the belt were to snap, you've got some protections there. Now again, this is just a straight raw machine piece of equipment here. There's no protections. There is one right up here on top on the critical pulley, which is actually the tensioner down here, which we'll talk about. But if that belt snaps, for the guys out there, that's gonna hit you right in the nut. At waist level, it's gonna smack you there, and it's gonna send you somewhere other than Jesus. So while I do wish there were some additional protections on this, there's actually a reason why there is not. Quick twist of an Allen down low, go full horizontal with this thing here. You can see why they didn't add the various protections, because some people like to do contour sanding. You can actually pull this off, shift that, twist it 90, 180, however you want to do it, and kind of work your different corners here on what you want to do. Let's go ahead and do some elementary science here. I've got a watt meter, amp meter plugged in to our central machinery unit. We'll go ahead and power it on. And we're pulling we'll say 1.9 amp. So we've got it running, 20 revolutions, small as possible, and we're only pulling about 0.1 of an amp there. So let's fire it up halfway to about 2,000. Running there, and we're looking at about 0.8 on the draw for that one at 50%. Let's run it up to where the Harbor Freight one operates at 3,500. Dial it in. There we go. Oh, we're almost there. There we go. We're looking at 1.5 on the amperage draw for this one here. So just a little bit less than the Harbor Freight one. Not too much difference. Now we're going to go full blast. Man, that thing sounds mean when you fire it up. Listen to that. But you know what? Even on full, look how smooth and balanced that is. I mean, I guess that's the difference between the price points, right? You know, 59 bucks, $200. And it's not even bolted down. I don't even have it mounted to a stainless steel table, and it's not vibrating across the table like a jackhammer there. So let's see where we're at on these numbers here. 2.3 on the draw for that one. All right, so let's talk about belt swapping, because this is one of the biggest things that just drives me insane. Doesn't matter if it's one of the 4x30 belt standers, 1x30, 30x1, whatever you want to call it. So on the central machinery one, there is a little tab, well, you can say a tension knob. What you would do is you would twist that, and that's going to pull off that belt right there. What I do like about the Vevor one is the fact that I can just pull this down, take the tension off, and the belt comes right off. So it makes it a little bit easier with having an open cage versus the closed cage system. So let's go ahead and put one of these suckers to work. I've got a stainless steel V-band clamp flange here. Really beautiful metal here, typically used for, you know, a very precision turbo tubing. Now, the market difference between these two here, okay, is they're two different niches. A lot of knife guys use these. A lot of turbo guys, precision TIG welders will typically go after these as well. And there's a reason for that, and I'll show you, because we're going to sacrifice this one here. We don't want to remove and cause bluing, so we can really dial in our setting on this and do some very, very simple metal prep. Okay. And not completely scour it and tear it up. All right, well, so there you have it. Two very similar machines with two different markets in mind here. Again, the Vevor one is going to be more precision fabrication, metalwork, TIG prepping, while the central machinery one is going to be a total balls to the wall Mach 20, grind down stock steel and be done with it there. So I'm going to leave it up to you to make the decision on what you guys think. Leave it below in the comments section. Which one do you prefer? Price point aside, which one do you think would be actually more beneficial?